Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Zowie GameStar Overwatch League here live on GameStar TV 1 all throughout your Saturday afternoon. We've just had our first quarterfinal complete, and that was won by the Chiefs Esports Club versus Team Thanks. Chiefs will move through to the semi-final, and they will be facing either Orbit or Untitled Spreadsheet, depending on who wins that match. But for your second match, we're going to be bringing you the Cucks going up against Quentiam. And when we were looking at this match, guys, Bobby J, we were saying that Quentiam, they are probably the underdogs, but they could be the underdogs who turn their story into a fairy tale.
Yeah, last night we all got together and we all actually selected out the teams who we're going to pick to win today. And I went with Quentiam, and I want to live the underdog story with them here in the Mon. But I'll be impartial while I'm casting, of course. But,
of course,
they're my pick.
So we have Quentiam as a pick to win out the grand final, so not just this quarterfinal, going up against the Cucks. But the Cucks, they have maintained a very strong record throughout the tournament.
Yeah, they've had a very, very good record, and they're one of the few teams who've really played against the top teams like Untitled Spreadsheet and the Chiefs. They've had multiple grand final playings and multiple semi-finals as well. So they've got a lot of really good experience against these top end teams here in the competition. So they'll be looking to get underway with a really strong win here against Quentiam. And as Bobby was saying as well, it's not going to be an easy pushover. Quentiam have been known to rattle the cage from time to time. So this match in the quarterfinal, it's going to be interesting to see how it comes out.
Well, I've got to say that of all the teams in the league, the Cucks have shown the clearest progression from the start of the tournament right through to the end. They started off with getting through to the quarterfinals and then getting knocked out in week 1. They proceeded then to make it through to the semifinals for 2 weeks in a row. And then in weeks 4 and 5, they made it through to the grand finals. So they have been slowly but steadily building their capability, building their team synergy, making a couple of roster changes here and there, but then coming into this tournament, perhaps it's their time to really shine, get through to the grand final, and actually take that all the way out. Well, just having a look at how things are going in the lobby right now, we've had the draft completed. We're going to be starting off with Dorado, moving on to Numbani, and if required, finishing up on Watchpoint Gibraltar. So your casting team for this match again is going to be EJ and Agaima. EJ, do you want to take it away for the first map, Dorado?
All right, thank you to Crisis and the boys on the analyst desk. EJ and Gaimar here to take you through the second quarterfinal on Dorado. Gaimar, we've got the two teams in, the Cucks and also Quentiam. Run us through the teams, please.
So on the Cucks side, we've got Elim, Haste, Primed, Cinderella, Osir, and TJK. And on Quentiam, we have Twiggy, Slid Sorge, Bim, Kiki, Presh, and Shu.
All right, and we are entering the game, and it is Dorado. Keys to success, Gaimar, do you think, for Dorado?
I think Dorado really is about effective team pushes and good usages of high ground. Not necessarily so much on this first point, but especially in that second third of the map, the high ground becomes really important. So really, I want to see both teams have really nice positioning, because I think that's what will make it. Cucks are probably the more experienced team. They've made more finals, more semi-finals, so on. But Quentiam, as was said earlier by the analysts, they're a team who's not afraid of a challenge. And so I think that this should be a good game. Really, I think part of it will come down to who, as I said earlier, plays the Genji, supports the Genji, counters the Genji.
Now, we know the Cucks have an aggressive style of play, which comes from their FPS background, playing games like Enemy Territory and Quake Live and so forth, Shoot Mania, etc. Does that lend itself, do you think, to Dorado, that aggressive FPS style play?
Yeah, I think it does if it's used correctly. Because aggressive play can really catch out the other team on Dorado if it's timed right. If it's timed incorrectly, though, you get caught out and some very bad things can happen to you. So
As
overall,
we saw in the first quarter-final, Guymar, the timing of the ultimates, we know it from already competition, but it is such important when you get to this level of competition that teams use their ultimates in combination to get that timing right.
yeah, and I think that'll really be what it comes down to largely, because both these teams are so experienced and have such high-quality players. Those usages of ultimates on the fights which include ultimates will be what decide those fights. This
Just
first
do a
fight,
quick
though,
shout
no
out,
ultimates.
To the offensive one. Shout out. Right, we're underway, ladies and gentlemen. The play has started, and the truck is in motion, as you often see now on Dorado. They let the truck go for the first bit, and they set up around the courtyard for that first defense, camp them in this arch. It's a great choke point for the payload itself. A few access points out of it, but fairly common start, Guymar, is to set this choke point up and stop the truck here.
Yeah, and here's where the fight really matters, where it gets into this choke.
All right, fight's underway. Haste is in there. Haste goes down. That's a great push by Quentiam. They've got a team down. They've dropped the entire Cucks team. And wow is the only thing I can think of to say to that one. That was an absolute cracker of a push, Guymar. Wiped
Yeah,
them
good
out.
opening pick from Shu, and then Slid and Shu just really doing a lot of work. Both of them are really high quality DPS players, so Woodcucks really have to be careful, because yes, Woodcucks do have good players, but Quentiam have really good players as well, so both teams have to be really careful about where they're positioning, otherwise you can get caught out very quickly, as Slid just has to be.
Yeah, Quentiam, no doubt about it. Dark horses for the competition. They're the outsiders that have a chance. And so do Woodcucks. In fact, anyone who's made the 8 has a real chance. So we've got a high ground defense here being set up by the boys from the Woodcucks. They are all on top of the church. Genji from Slido going up to meet them there, pushes them off. They're down on the truck now. The engagement's occurred. Cinderella's popped the shield up. Reinhardt defense. Elim doing the disco dancing on top of the truck. He likes a bit of disco dancing, Elim. He's pretty good on the dance floor. If you get a chance to go out with Elim, make sure you go to a disco. And shout out to you, by the way, Elim. Truck getting pushed up though, Guymar. Past the front of the church now and about to come in towards the bridge.
Yeah, really, I think Cucks are just playing really offensively, and they haven't really gotten too much off it because Quentiam's really limited their pushes.
Yep.
But now Cucks have a chance to fight it out.
Yeah, plenty of time on the clock. 5:54 has just picked past. Truck is under the overpass now. Battle's taking place in the church. And what a great place to take place. High noon gets called. We wait for it. Bang! Shu picks up one with the high noon. He was hoping for more than that, I'm sure, Guymar.
Yeah, really just Woodcucks didn't jump on
they kind of got the
Quentiam. Like, they just stayed up on that high ground for way too long, and then when they finally went in, I believe it was 1 or 2 players overextending, not really pushing in as a team. So Woodcucks need to work on their coordination. I mean, yes, it's not over yet, but they need to be stopping this payload quickly, because it's only been 3 minutes and they're already looking towards the last third of the map.
Yeah, they are. So here they go. They're into the complex now. They got the truck up around the U-bend. Into the point is all they have to do. And it's a bridge defense by the boys from the Woodcucks. They are set up on the high ground, raining down fire. But the truck needs to be actually interfered with to stop it. So it's rolled right up here to that overpass. Here they go. Engagement occurs. They leave it to the last minute. Woodchuck style. And can they outgun them? Elim and OCR pick up one each. Bim gets one back for them, though, dropping the Reinhardt.
At this point, I think Quentiam are going to try and get out or die, really. I think they've given up on this fight, as you see Slid just hiding out in the back.
And it draws players off the truck as well, leaves Bim and Elim to have a bit of a fight, you know, supporter on supporter at the truck, and Elim comes out on top. So nicely done, Elim. Shu sneaks up, though, and McCree's the truck away. He's got his Genji with him. Kiki's in there, Pressure's in as well. So they got a bit of a build-up. They got the truck around the corner. That'll help.
And now they're just waiting to regroup.
Defense back up. Yeah, they've got to wait to regroup here. We've got a solid defense. Woodcucks on this truck now. Thank you, all. G. You are the man. That was from his mum, by the way. She sent me that on text just so we got a mention today. And
Quentiam are just pushing the cart.
yeah, no, that's just what I'm saying. So you've got to stop the cart. Case is there now to block it out.
Into the iris.
JK's
calling Rico now. Ah, poor old Rico lets rip and gets dropped. He took one out. He took out the healer at least. And now he's laying dead in front of the cart. So he should spell his name properly and then he wouldn't be properly dead, I'm almost certain. They push the truck in though, and there we go. That was a fairly easy round by Quint. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that sort of a roll through.
Yeah, Dorado is a strong map for Quentiam, but I wasn't expecting Woodcucks to be so absent, really. I mean, they had some very weak fights. Not really their usual, so I wonder if that's just a weak map for them, or if they haven't woken up yet.
Well, just remember, guys, Quentiam were the first team to take a game off of Untitled spreadsheet that wasn't the Chiefs, and it was on Dorado. So this is a very, very strong map for them, setting a time of 4:53.
Now, Crisis, just got to ask, are you muted during that or are you out to the world?
No, I was out to the world. You should
That's good, because otherwise I was going to say that was a long bit of silence and I was about to try and start filling it.
I've got my casting voice on. You should be able to tell my casting voice versus my mildly agitated or irritated producer's voice.
Shout out! He's got his big boy pants on this afternoon,
There you
ladies
go.
and gentlemen. Crisis doing his casting and filling us in there. And he's right, Quentiam were the first ones to take that round. But can they match defense with offense, Guy Ma? And we'll find out as the matches are going to get underway here for round 2.
Yeah, overall, I think that it's a very defendable time. I think that really what it'll come down to is some nice coordinated counter engages. We saw Woodcucks have less coordination on their counter engages, and we've seen what happened when Woodcucks did have coordination on their counter engages as the defensive side. They really got picks and won fights. So I'd like to see Quentiam play that style where, as Woodcucks try and push up, Quentiam engage into them and get some nice early picks, because I think catching a team off guard when they're not expecting you to push can be very effective, and so that's what I'm expecting Quentiam to do. But an interesting pick is the Junkrat. Slid has decided to play Junkrat.
Slid's changed it up.
And that means that he can just spam the chokes, and it makes it very difficult for Woodcucks to push unless they block that spam with something like a Reinhardt. So that could counter this Winston very well.
So it's good to see he's going to let it up and live up to his reputation as a spammer. And just got a quick shout out to the Mega Star Wars fan, KTR4 there. He wants to see a bit of a BIM and an ELIM action to get the B-Lim going. Or the BIM-a-Lim. BIM-a-Lim sandwich, ladies and gentlemen. Who wouldn't order that off the menu? You probably would, Guymar. I would.
I don't know, they're currently a bit split at the moment, so I don't know if I'm gonna flip them.
All right, so we're underway here. 5 seconds already elapsed. Payload moving. And as we said, standard. Although, again, the aggressiveness, they are just pushing a little bit forward here and getting some spam down as the boys from the Woodcucks move this truck up.
But there's a little flank coming in from the side. Woodcucks sending 3 players to the right of the defensive side, so that could be very interesting, as I don't know if Quentiam are prepared for this.
So we're waiting for the engagement to take place. Those players haven't engaged yet. They are on high. Winston's about to come round now. Here they come into the market. So the push comes in. Haste laying down the spam as well. And they've broken up the Quentiam line of defense, but Quentiam are regrouping at the back of the fountain and have regrouped well. And it's left the Prime to try and hold this out, and he's not going to be able to do that.
Rico got quite a number of picks in that fight, and that's really left Quentiam gutted as a defensive side. They really just have to regroup now, because they've just lost too many players to be able to contest this effectively. So it looks like they'll just go for their setup on the high ground, as most teams do now on Dorado.
Defense up.
The question is, can they jump on Woodcucks better than Woodcucks jumped on Quentiam? We saw Quentiam push through this stage of the map relatively fast, so if they want to delay longer than their time, then I think the key for Quentiam will be to delay on this stage of the map first before they go into that third stage.
And I'm waiting for TJK to really have a bit of influence on this game. He was one player pre-match I thought was going to have a fairly strong influence. So, you know, if he kicks into gear, we might see a bit of a change of fortunes to the team. But again, they're rolling this truck up, as Guymar said, quite quickly through the first stage of the map. The overpass being protected by Twiggy and the boys. And Quentiam just letting it roll through. They're going to drop down behind them now, trying to engage. Winston's gone up to greet them with a bit of a hello. And Haste has DVA'd up as well. Haste gets pushed off. The truck continues to just get worked through. And from the other side of the overpass now, Guymar, they're going to try and mount some defense.
Yeah, really, Woodcucks had the advantage there, and I talked about how you want to be the aggressor, and Woodcucks were the aggressor there. I think the aggressor has the advantage of the other team being caught out, and it did look a bit like Quentiam was caught out. They lost Slid before Twiggy finally managed to charge Rico into the wall. But overall, once again, Quentiam just losing too many players to mounted defense. So
and
hopefully...
They have that Junkrat, as I think you said there, so only for early spam. Back to a Genji play to try and break up this line that's coming straight at them from the Woodcucks. Because Elian is just riding the payload at the moment, doing a great job pushing it through. Cinderella is waiting for his jump ready, and then he's going to go up and break Twiggy and pressure up on top of the overpass here.
And not only is Slid on Genji, he's on Genji with a Dragon Blade ready. So we could see some very exciting play soon.
Alright, so the action's gone in. We've had the sound barrier pop. Tranquility's going as well. DVA's letting rip. The explosion goes off. Shoes picked up one. Him and Kiki with one each as well. Rico's slowing it down, coming through. Rico with a double with the Genji. What a counter Genji play by Rico. Nicely done. TJK at the back taking on 4 as best he can, but not able to. Kiki too strong.
I found that a very interesting fight because neither team really eliminated the DPS players early. So that's how we saw Rico able to carve up so late in the fight. But Rico eventually got taken down, I believe it was by Slid. So both teams just keeping their DPS players alive. And really, I think a good way to win fights early is to take out one of the DPS players. And neither team really doing that early in fights.
Now, hopefully our Mr. Producer has time for each of these matches recorded and we can know what we're up against here. 37 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen, for them to get the card up to get the point for fastest time. They can still get a point if they can complete the defense, but they want that bonus point for fastest time. And it looks like Quentiam holding strong here are going to take out that honor from this first round, Guymar. Look at that, pushed them right back outside the complex.
Yeah, Quentiam are just doing a really nice job of holding, and they're keeping their ultimates up as much as they can. And that's really important on the defensive side, because the offensive side only has to win one push to take each checkpoint, but the defensive side has to hold continually, push after push. And so it does appear that the time is now up for Woodcucks to beat Quentiam's time, but they still want this point for the series.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. It's a best of 3 match here today. So we want them to, if they want them, to get a bonus or get the point. To take that through to the second point and be 2-1 down going into map 2. And Quentiam, though, are having none of that. Look at that. Slides picking up another double. And I hope the boys on the analyst page, we know they're watching, but we hope they're paying attention because a lot of players putting their hands up again early. MVP awards nomination. So they want to show off in front of the audience. Shout out to our audience, by the way, watching on Twitch chat. Shout out to our sponsors, Plantronics for the MVP awards, and of course Zowie for putting up prize money during the qualifying, and the huge over $8,000 in prizes being given away today. Ronnie Custom giving us some mugs as well. So Guymar, this could be it. 4 minutes 9 seconds. We've had a nice regroup here, and they're going to fight up on the upper deck, and Ultimate's going down, and not a lot of damage. And we've got TJK trying to ninja the truck through underneath the battle. Classy move indeed. But he's been caught by himself, and that's not going to go down well for him.
TJK almost trying to take a page out of Quentiam's book. We saw Quentiam try and do that little sneaky push while fighting at the top. And now TJK is like, well, it worked for them, why don't we give it a shot?
I'll
but
give
really,
it a as well.
The trick is to have your team win the fight while you're trying to ninja it, and that didn't appear to happen for the Woodcucks. So Quentiam continue to hold even past their time. So really nice defense coming out from Quentiam, showing that they're not just good on the offensive side of the map.
All right, so they're again coming down the right-hand side. They're going low, straight to the objective. And Rico pushing through, now going back around. So has Haste. And Tranquility popped on defense. So Bim trying to just help the team out and slow this push down, and it's been very successful.
A player I'd really like to highlight is Twiggy. On this Reinhardt, he has been fight after fight getting a charge on a DPS player at the start of the fight. And that just makes the fight so much more winnable for Quentiam, because now they have twice as many DPS players alive as Cucks do. And he's done that every fight, and if he continues to do it, it makes it very hard for the Woodcucks to push
The
through.
drop-off in overall team damage that his team is taking is significant, and his early engagement has done that. All right, so Haste pushes up here. He's had enough, and he's going ape wild, swinging and punching and dying all around the same time on the point. And Elim's in, trying to get the truck going. Rico's there, slashing around, picks up one, two kills. Prime picks up a third. Rico gets a third as well. That's going to be the break they needed. There's the last player, Elim, the Lucio extraordinaire, picking up a kill. And although the time's up, they're going to push the truck through, pick themselves up a point here, and they'll be happy that they managed to do that. Took them a while though, Guymar, to get their coordination working.
Yeah, it took them a while indeed. I mean, Quentiam just looked so dominant with their defense, just holding it again and again. And yes, Slid was a major part of that, and here we're going to see his play the game.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give that player today.
So Quentiam, they're picking up map 1 of the series, Dorado, and admittedly it's a very good map for Quentiam, but they just came out so dominant. I wasn't expecting them to be this good. Once again, teams impressing me. Maybe I underrate teams, who knows, but Quentiam showing they are a force to be reckoned with, and we said they were the dark horse, and right now they're looking to knock out Woodcucks. So if they can show up on the next map,
picked early, yeah. But also, I think, Guymar, the sheer fact that the prizes are online today, they're actually on the line, people are walking away with prizes today, makes a difference to players. I mean, when you're in qualifiers and things, you can drop a game here, drop a game there. But on finals day, you really see that difference with teams, because this is it. This is make or break. You want the prize, you play well.
and it really says a lot about a team if they can play under pressure like this. And that's even really impressive. Some teams will fall under that pressure of finals, but it looks like Quentiam, that pressure is just hyping them up, and they're looking forward to facing the top quality teams in Australian Overwatch. So I'm excited to see what they have for us on Mbani.
Elim's just asking a question in chat, which we'll get sorted out before we proceed with the next map, Mbani, as we said. Now, keys to the map, I guess it's that momentum again on Mbani. If you get that momentum, you can do a lot of damage to the defensive team moving across the map.
Yeah, Mbani's an interesting map. With that first point defense, it can be really tough to break at times and then really quick to break at other times. It's a really strange point. I think it comes out of counter-strating the other team, but you don't know what strategy they're going to have unless you've done some really good research. So at first, I'm interested to see how the defense sets up, because that will determine whether the offensive pushes will be effective or not.
And when you say do your research on strats, the research is available. There's all the VODs from the previous rounds of the ZOWIESTAH competition are available on YouTube and on Twitch. Hit a subscribe button. You can watch them straight away on Twitch, but they're always up on YouTube within that 24 hours. So people can do their homework these days, Guymar. They can suss out strengths and weaknesses of teams watching replays.
And especially since teams are starting to more and more have coaches now. And those coaches, if they want to, can just day after day just watch the VODs. Yeah. And that gives teams a huge advantage in their practice scheduling. But some teams don't quite have a coach, so they're put at a disadvantage. But there's captains picking up that slack as well. So really just, I think that the quality of Overwatch is just going to get higher and higher in Australia as teams practice more and more.
And with the World Cup on the horizon, players from Australia want to stand out and be noticed because they want to get voted for.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see who Blizzard decides to nominate, because there are some really quality players in Australia, and I'm not sure who I'd want to vote for.
Well, I know I'll be nominating Crisis as Best Pharaoh OCE and be fascinated to see how many votes he can pull.
Oh, that's hilarious. I somehow doubt that I'll be carried through by the vote. I'm pretty sure there are a number of players who are far better than me. Weapon Fire springs to mind. He's a Plantronics MVP nominee. And just a reminder, everyone, as soon as we hit 100 viewers, and that is what we've just done now, we're going to be opening up the raffle for the Overwatch t-shirts. So we have just hit it now. I'll open the raffle in just a moment. Back to you, EJ, here on Numbani.
All right, so it's exclamation mark T if you want to be in a chance to win the t-shirts, and they're great. People have been posting them, photos of themselves, Guymar, on our Facebook and that, or their own Twitters in the t-shirts they've won. So we love it when you do that. Thank you very much for your support. We're also giving away specific custom mugs. So when you see Bizer doing his tweeting, look for the ones where he's asking for retweets and you go in the draw to win a mug. Now, however, Guymar, you do have to follow the channel in order to win the t-shirt. As we found out, I think it was Elias in week 1. He had a win, wasn't following, no t-shirt.
And he was so gutted after that. So make sure you're following.
Next week. Yeah, how uncanny was that?
Yeah, well, maybe he's just a lucky man. I mean, I believe he's skill ranking 77 now, so you got to have a bit of luck with those coin flips.
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
Getting into the match now, I do believe we see Shu on the Genji now, which I find interesting because Slid we saw tear
Great
teams
finish.
apart.
Yeah, totally.
And now they've swapped, so be interested to see if Shu does as well on the Genji and if Slid does as well on the Cree.
All right, so we've got a high defense here by the Woodcocks up above the platform. And the rush round comes, and it's an attack from both sides. Genji's in, and so did Winston. Kiki on the Winston there. And they have absolutely decimated the defensive line from the Woodcocks. We have a team down here, and the fist is going to get moved by the team. They're securing the payload, and it's a long run back to the team here, Guymar. And unfortunately, too long a run.
Yeah, Woodcocks just didn't seem ready for that push. I'm not sure if they just didn't see them coming, but they were so overwhelmed and they just got dominated through the whole fight with Quentiam not even losing a single player in that fight, if I'm correct.
Well, I just hope Woodcocks are going to stay in the fight. I hope they're not going to lose their momentum here and their esteem for the game. To keep battling hard. They can't give up. They are still in it. They can take it to a third map for sure. High noon has been called. Shots go out. No one dies though. Ooh, that's a good one.
I know I talked about Twiggy last map, but in the last 2 fights, he's been the one to kill TJK, just like we saw on the last map. So I think Twiggy's got a bit of a thing for killing TJK today.
Yep.
But that's what you want to see from
Maybe they
Reinhardt.
watched and broke it down and said, personally, I thought TJK would be really influencing the game, and still can. I mean, great player. But you've been neutralized, as you said. The engagement occurs here right on the checkpoint, and 4.45 of a meter out. Great work to stop the push, and I don't think they're going to stop it totally, but nice work indeed to cram it up right at that end point, or the second last one, as you say, half a meter to go. And that's probably their best bit of defense. Cinderella here doing a great job on the Reinhardt. Rico contributing with the Genji again. And that's a great defense by Woodcocks. That was probably their best bit of play so far this match.
Yeah, it was beautiful timing as well, because as you said, there was only half a meter till the checkpoint. If that checkpoint had been captured, the forward spawn will have activated and the attacking team of Quentiam could have got to the fight much quicker. But since the checkpoint was not captured, they still have that further back spawn, which is why they've had to regroup. But they have plenty of ults available for this fight.
All right, next fight engagement is on again around the payload in front of the checkpoint. There's 5 minutes and 8 seconds left on the clock, and the Woodcocks have managed to compose themselves. They are well and truly back in the game here, and going very hard on their defense, and I curse them with the caster's curse. They get completely dropped except for Rico, and the point gets tapped.
Yeah, that fight really was, rather than Shu, it was Slid on the Cree just doing huge work. And I think really, that's what they're showing. They're showing we don't need to just stay on the same heroes. we have a diverse hero pool. I mean, we've seen Slid on Kree, Genji, and Junkrat just in the series.
Yeah.
So really, I think their diversity is really helping them as they can react to the situation.
Well, they're reacting and countering when they need to, and you need to be able to do that in Overwatch. If your strats aren't working, you've got to change. And it's working effectively for them here. Rico's repoing it up, Rico. And it manages to push them off the cart. So Woodcuck's going to buy themselves at least another 30 seconds here. They do have that forward spawn though, so Quentiam will be back in the hunt very quickly. And as a final defensive point, Guymar, what do you reckon their chances of holding this for a 5 or 6 minute period?
I think it's pretty rare to see full shutouts. What they're really trying to do is just delay that time so that when it comes the Woodcuck's time to attack, all they have to do is beat a weaker time. Because it's much easier to beat a 7-minute time than it is to beat a 5-minute time, for example. So Quentiam trying to do the opposite here, trying to do it as fast as possible.
Then just hold. Alright, so the play has gone on well ahead of the card here. It's on the final point. Twiggy swinging his axe. And does a great job breaking up that back line. TJK has got a double though with the McCree, and that's going to help enormously for his team. But not enough. The cart is going to get moved forward. It does indeed. And TJK picks up another. Wow, there you go. We said he needed to step up, and he delivered. What a great little play then by TJK.
And in the same way, we talked about the need to shut down TJK, and really, in that last fight, no one was really focusing him. He was just sitting at the back, getting kill after kill, and then finally, when Slid decided to try and fight him, Slid was discorded and lost the fight pretty easily. So overall, I think they need to do a better effort in this next fight. Go back to how they were with shutting down TJK early. Or maybe TJK's just improved the positioning. I'm not sure what's happened.
Alright, here comes the push now. Twiggy out from the upper window. They've gone high. High Noon called from behind. And Rico breaks that one up. TJK as well gets in there and picks up a kill. This is a much stronger Woodcock here. Cinderella contributing, Prime contributing. They're all picking up kills now. Guymar, TJK again. He's really, really loving this last defensive posture. Big time.
Yeah, Woodcocks have really shown up. I mean, it didn't really seem like they were there up until now. But at this last point, they've just done so much work just to stop
and they're not relying on one person, they're all contributing.
And they're not relying on ultimates all that much either. I mean, yes, there was the brilliant Death Blossom from Rico, but overall, good fighting.
And engagement again takes place at the tunnel. So one high push wasn't overly successful. They're not going to necessarily try that again. And they don't want to get too pushed too far. They're just baited. They get baited out at the front of the tunnel here. It's always a risk. The boys from Quentiam are a fair way back though, so Woodcocks are quite safe to drop back. And Carts in reverse now, and let's see what they can do. So we got the big team push coming, and they're straight onto the cart. The engagement takes place just on the corner. Whoa! Reinhardt's down early. That was Twiggy. That seems to have quite a bearing on the fight if they lose Twiggy early. Another High Noon gets called. Doesn't get any kills. I've seen a few misses with the High Noon.
Yeah, you've really got to wait for it to charge, and the players are very aware at this level. When they hear that High Noon, they're reacting very quickly, unlike in quick play where High Noons can get 5 or 6 kills.
Yeah.
Cinderella, though, is doing a brilliant job of keeping TJK alive. I don't know if you've seen, but that shield is always up in front of TJK's face. It's very hard for Quentiam to be getting picks, and McCree, that isn't picked, can output so much damage. I mean, I believe it does 70 damage with a headshot doing 140, so that's a big deal.
All right, so they've come out again high onto the push here. 2 minutes, 26 seconds. It is wave after wave of offense to try and break. Oh, that might be the play there. The Reinhardt gets the ulti down. And that was a perfectly timed ulti by Twiggy there, dropping the defense. And Guymar, that swung that whole encounter.
Yeah, but now there are some delaying hero choices from the Woodcucks. Though it doesn't appear that any of them will be able to stop the point so far, but now it does appear the Woodcucks have managed to land on the counter.
Crikey, 1 minute 46 seconds, 40 meters, and they couldn't have stopped it. No, they didn't. There we go. And I've got to give it to Woodcocks. They were looking at a very fast time to try and cap it. They have bought themselves precious minutes with that final defense, Omar. That's excellent.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's all just about delaying the push as long as possible, because most teams can finish the map. And they did a brilliant job here. Here's this push, which just seemed insane. And here we see that actually it was them on the Zenyatta doing a huge amount of work. That push, I didn't even know what was going on. It just seemed like Woodcuck suddenly just died, and it appears that was thanks to Bim in that fight as well as the rest of his team.
Yeah, the other thing that happened, guys, was they had a pincer movement planned. So most of the team, 4 of their players, went up through the passage, and from around the behind, Slidjaw and I can't remember who it was playing the Winston, they came from the other side, and the combination, that pincer, was devastating.
All right, so 8:09 was the time on the clock there. That has been set. That's good time. That's enough time if you got your team working to push this map, Gaimar.
Yeah, that's a really long time for Numbani. So Woodcuck's now in the advantage. Being able to beat that time shouldn't be too hard if they fight like they did on that last third of the map. Really though, we've seen Quentiam defend brilliantly on Dorado. The question is, can they do the same on Numbani? I mean, they have quality skill levels, quality team coordination, but is it enough to stop the Woodcucks from beating such a long time? That's what we'll have to see.
Now I'm going to ask Crisis the question that I'm sure is going to be asked in Twitch chat. If they beat the faster time and complete the map in doing so and pick up 2-1 on this map, we go to a third map.
Yeah, that's correct. So the teams will be tied up on 3 points each. Remember, with our scoring system that we've used for the Zowie GameStar Overwatch League, you can earn 2 points if you win on attack and you get the fastest time in attack. 1 point if you successfully defend, or if you simply complete your attack and it's just not the fastest. But we award the points right at the end of the match at completion, which would mean that both of these teams end up earning 3 points in total across the 2 games. So we'll go to the third. It's effectively a best of 3 at this stage. So yeah, we might be going to a third map. That'll be exciting.
Gaimar, defensive-wise, we have the same setup that was used and broken by Woodcock. Cucks, I should say, ladies and gentlemen. Good shout out to the Hardo AIM Cyberways. Now, will the pincer smash them, do you think, as quickly as it was for the Cucks?
Yo, that is the question. Can Woodcucks push the same as Quentiam did? And they appear to be doing a silent push by crouching. So I don't know if Quentiam will be ready for where they come out.
Well, here they come now. They're coming out through the door on the right. Low door, push straight out onto the point. The high offense or defense is getting rained down on him. Twiggy drops down and gets into it, gets slammed out of there. And Cinderella is clearing the cart with the hammer at the moment. Shu is behind him. Can he get Shu? Yeah, picks Shu up as well. Throws Shu out. I'm going barefoot, he says. I don't need any shoes to push this cart. Smacks him with a hammer. And as we saw in the first match, it was the first push that successfully captured the first point.
Yeah, it must just be a Numbani thing, but I believe that cap took slightly longer than the equivalent cap of Quentiam. So, overall,
you'd be pretty
relatively
happy
similar.
Even though it took a bit longer, you'd be pretty happy you got it on your first push.
Yeah, definitely. And with such a long time, having that first point on the first push is a big deal, because now it makes it that much harder for Quentiam to defend for the full, 8 minutes. And so, overall, Quentiam are going to need some very strong defenses.
All right, we're in front of the Sigma Bot Couture building now. Two of us is out front. The payload making its way down past the gallery.
Much better.
And TJK out in front, just bouncing around with his McCree. Pickett trying to get early picks, do a little bit of early damage, and also just to let the teams know, don't try and set your defense up, because the Woodcucks are rolling.
Yeah, and will we see a defense come out in the last 0.5 meters of this checkpoint? It does look like we will.
No, they had 3 meters. They wanted to buy themselves a bit of distance. Tranquility has popped on the point. We've got Winston swinging. We've got Reinhardt swinging. Everybody's swinging. But no one's picking up the kills. Twiggy does, though. Twiggy gets Cinderella. Reinhardt on Reinhardt action again. Pim pops his ultimate. That was a well-timed ultimate, but not enough to stop the point being captured and the push through by the Woodchucks. And we're going to look at the same scenario we had in that last game, Gaimar, where it's this final point defense will determine the map.
And Rico is just on fire at the moment, doing so much work, and actually still has a Dragon Blade available. So I would be scared if I was Quentiam of Rico. They really want to be picking him off very early, because that Genji is
The
going to do a
back
lot of
card
work.
is round the corner and about to hit the point, and no one stopped it yet. That's
Rico
gotta
has
get the
been
shift
picked
up
off.
high. All right, High Noon gets called out there. Kiki picks one up with the DVA. And he's tried to come around behind but gets stopped, and they are just walking the card in. Kiki doing absolute best. Get off the truck, says Cinderella there, and smacks him in the head with the sledgehammer. And this was going to be a Woodchucks match. Evelyn was a bit querying about having to start on defense. I'm pretty sure he's happy about it now, as his team have done a great job, Gaimar, getting this here. 1.62 meters to go. Last line of defense, Twiggy and Stu are there. Slide's trying as well. Half a meter. There we go. Point one. Game over.
Yeah, really just dominant attack by the Woodcucks, showing that yes, Dorado happened, but now this is Nimbani, it's a new map, and Woodcucks showing that they're not afraid of Quentiam.
But even on this, they got rolled at the start of that map. They really only pulled it together in the final third of this map, and then took that into the offense with them, and wow, that sets up. So what map are we on third, Crisis? I was totally not paying attention before. It was Crisis. He's looking. Gaimar, is it just me, or do other people want to vote for people here when you're a caster? They got to let the casters be able to click and vote for people. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
I want to be able to vote for people.
I go to vote. I click my mouse on it and go, oh, it's broken. Oh, no, I'm a caster. Not realising the fact I didn't actually play the entire game, but that's irrelevant. You know, I still want to vote.
I wanted to vote for Rico. I mean, we just saw him do so much work, as well as TJK. I mean, both of them just doing so much work, and Quentiam not really picking them off that often. And you really want to be picking off these high damage heroes, because they do have a low health pool. Each of them only has 200 health, so they're quicker to pick off than tanks, and they do more damage than tanks.
Yeah.
Quentiam having to focus their fire on the tanks in their midst, rather than the DPSs who are the ones actually doing the prime damage. And
Well,
I think
all I
that's
know-
what will have to change soon.
All I know, Gaimar, is our analyst desk, when we switch back to them, they're going to be struggling because the players are putting their hands up for MPP votes. So I hope they're taking notes. They should be, because we're going to watch Point Gibraltar for the decider. This is the second semi-final here this afternoon of the ZOWIE GameStar Overwatch League. EJ and Gaimar, your commentators. Crisis on producer special comments. And we're just waiting for the teams to ready up. One of them's just gone for a toilet break, so we will be about 30 seconds or so. In the meantime,
And just
listen to Crisis.
just a reminder, everyone, we've hit the 100 viewers. That doesn't mean we should stop there, so make sure you let your mates know. Send out the retweets on the Twitters. We're tweeting results from the matches, the start of each of the quarterfinals, that sort of thing. Hit those retweets for us, and let's see if we can get a record number of viewers in today, and give our sponsors, ZOWIE BenQ, a massive bit of love with support of the tournament that they have sponsored the prizes for. Of course, the raffle is open at 100 viewers. We've had 18 people enter the raffle so far. So, you know,
That's
if
a
you want
pretty
to...
good chance of winning.
Yeah, good chance of winning so far. So get them in. And I think let's sweeten the deal. For every 100 viewers, we'll add a T-shirt. So right now, it's one T-shirt that's going up.
Wow.
If we hit 200, we'll add another T-shirt to the mix. If we hit 3, we'll add yet another T-shirt to the mix, and we'll continue adding those on, ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of GameStar Media, investing in your viewing pleasure here. I think we are just about ready, though, EJ, here in the lobby with Quentiam versus the Woodchucks.
Fantastic. And watch Point Gibraltar. What can we expect, Gaimar?
Yeah, it's an interesting map for the third map of the second quarterfinal, because I think it is a map which favours Woodchucks. I've seen them do very well on it, but at the same time, I've seen Quentiam do really well on this map as well. I've seen, if we manage to see the Widow from Shu, I've seen that Widow pick people apart on this first third of the map defending, So it could be very
Is the
interesting.
Widow still popular in the meta, though? I hardly see the Widow played anymore.
Yeah, you don't see it that often, but sometimes for this map, because the engagement distances are so long compared to other maps, sometimes teams will pull it out on the offense or defense. We could see it from Haikadi if we see Gibraltar later when Chiefs play.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those maps where the engagement distances make you have to adjust your team comps. A lot of the other maps, the engagement distances are relatively similar, but Gibraltar is a long-range map, and we could see some soldiers as well because of that. And overall, I think we might see a little less Genji, but we could still see it, especially on the attack. I just don't think we'll see it on the defense so much.
Got to do a quick shout out, GG, and thanks for the support to Miss Nikita, who's having a listen today and loving the attention. So everyone do a big group hug in Twitch chat. We love it. Untitled Spreadsheet made very popular the server room defense on this map. It'll be interesting to see if these two teams go with that today. Give up this first push. Everyone pretty much gives up this. Wait for him to come under the tunnel and see if they're going to get that high ground and hold out. We know from watching the earlier match, though, Woodcocks love to get high and be shooting down. They don't really go for those early ground engagements on these types of maps. So server room's going to be important. We'll see who controls it.
Yeah, definitely.
And huge shout out to the Woodcocks, who have got a lot of experience, I believe, also with finals. They've won lots of finals in Quake, ET, things like that. So they'll be bringing that Cuck Farm experience to the finals today.
Imagination is the
And it does appear Slid will be on the Genji. I talked about how we might see the Genji on offense, and Slid will be giving us that hero and Shu once again back to the Kree. So it appears that they've decided that the hero swap might not be the best idea, so they're back on their original heroes. But on the defense, Rico's on the Genji as well. I said we wouldn't see it, but apparently Rico just wants to prove me wrong. So there will be Genjis on both sides, which could be big because Genji at the moment is doing insane amounts of work, and so is Kree, and both teams have both. So overall, I'm excited for this defense. I want to see who can win that first fight, and whether, in fact, Woodcocks will stick to that server room hold, which they probably will. But you never know, some teams might want to mix it up to catch the other team. Whenever you get predictable, you can get counter-strated, and I think teams are aware of that fact.
All right, so we are underway here. This is the third and deciding map in the second quarter final. $8,000 worth of prizes up on the table today. And both of these teams want to get to that final and walk away with new monitors. I'm actually looking at a BenQ monitor right now, and they are fantastic monitors. So are the Zowies. The cart's coming straight through to the first point. And I've also got my Rig HD 500 headset on, Guymar for Plantronics. They rock as well.
I don't have any experience with that headset because I've never won the MVP nominations.
There's always next season. And talking of next season, will we see the server defense next season? I don't know, but the server room defense is strong with the Woodcocks players here today. Coming across the catwalk are the boys from Quentiam. They're going to engage in here. It is Reinhardt on Reinhardt action. The Winsons are coming as well. The big push is on. Hayes is pushed forward. Pops his shields. Tries to take out the Genji. Rico does the job for him. No, it was actually Hayes got credited the kill, but I'm pretty sure Rico was helping him. And that's a great little first hold there. That'll be a nice confidence boost to the Woodcocks boys.
Yeah, and Haste on the D.Va, I think, was doing a lot of work there with that defensive matrix, just swallowing up projectiles for the majority of that fight. Kiki on the Winston, trying to chuck in some bubbles and such as well. I mean, both heroes have their advantages, but that defensive matrix is really strong for swallowing up damage, and it can really make a big difference to fights. And then we just got to wait till the self-destruct's ready, and that can make a big difference as well.
All right, they push up here. They come up the left-hand side and straight up the stairs into the server room. And it could work well for them here. Bim's just coming through behind now, and it's worked extremely well for them. Hayes pops his ultimate at the end and only gets the instant. The rest of the team pretty much dropped there. So that's a great push by the boys from Quentiam. They'll get this cart pretty much up to the point. They might, no, I think they'll get back to stop them right on the point. Guymar, but it's been very impressive little take there. Retake.
Yeah, I think the key to that previous fight was Rico getting shut down as soon as he Dragon Bladed. And once again, Rico's been shut down. So I think Kree versus Genji still being a dominant matchup.
All right, fight at the front of the payload now. The little space shuttle's working its way up and has reached the checkpoint. So there's the first checkpoint in the bag. And now we're going to have the space shuttle defense. So quite often we see a high defense here, shooting down on the opponents. Let's see what the boys from Woodcucks choose to do.
Yeah, looking just purely at ultimates at the moment, there's an interesting little situation where Rico and TJK had their ultimates, but not much of the other team.
Nice defensive work here. Has kept the team just on the other side of the doors.
Yeah, it can be really effective if you manage to keep them outside of those doors which open up, because those little gaps turn into huge choke points once the offensive side has to run through them.
All right, so Twiggy putting the shield to good use here, escorting the team through. Had a little bit of Elim annoyance there as he got in behind them with his Lucio, just to mix things up a bit. The pushes come down, Cinderella's swinging at the cart and picks up a kill there, gets Tim, Rico getting Kiki, and another push stop. This is the replay of what we saw in that last map. Woodcocks loving the defense on these maps and setting up great crossfire and great positioning.
Yeah, and Quentiam just really not having an answer at this point. They haven't even tried to jump on top of the shuttle or anything. And now we see self-destruct come out, so I'm going to have to react to that.
Now, if I've accidentally offended anyone in Twitch, I humbly apologise. I truly love the cut. So it's just a Freudian slip. But players underway still here in the match. That's what we're more important about. Ace is letting it rip. Tranquility's dropped. He's been chased though. Winston trying to get the swing in. Genji's coming in. Cinderella gets a kill. Twiggy picks up one as well. And it's all down to Haste and Prime trying to hold it at this point here. Elim's given a little bit of spam at the back to help. And I think it might just be enough. Yes, it is enough. And Gaimar, that's another excellent hold.
Yeah, Woodcucks, really, I mean, even when they lose players, their players are coming back so fast. But now Rico's down. That could be a good time for Quentiam to push through and capture this card.
Yeah, Quentiam are like a blind man on a group date at the moment. They're just feeling their way around. And they haven't come up with an effective strategy yet to get past. Oh, we got a DVA ultimate. That can give someone a break and play. No such luck. Cart's getting pushed forward though. They're about to bring it under the underpass for the first time. And Kiki goes flying in to break up that line, following on from the beautiful work with the ultimate going out from Twiggy, and that worked for them. That was a great combination. And Twiggy dropped the ultimate, in goes Kiki, smacks them around, and they're going to successfully push the cart onto the B point.
And it's Slid, who I believe used his Dragon Blade to capitalize on that Earth Shatter. And that just, when players are sitting down like that, it's so much easier to land hits on them.
All right, doors have opened. The little space shuttle is space shuttling its way across the map. The ball goes out to keep it moving. Reinhardt's getting cranky.
And the timer is ticking, but if Quentiam can win the next fight, they'll be setting quite a nice time on this map.
Yes.
But if Woodcucks can show some more of their defensive prowess and hold it, then we could see quite a long time.
Oh, let's break it.
Oh, we got a double Lucio ultimate there, cancelling each other out pretty much. The fight's taking place on the corner of the fuel storage, which is itself becomes a choke point on this map. Cinderella's shielding beautifully, but getting pushed back around the corner. But successful hold on the corner here by the Woodcucks.
Tranquility.
And nicely done indeed. Ultimate-wise, where are we sitting as far as pushes go?
Yeah, well, it looks like some offensive ultimates will be coming up for Quentiam soon. What they really need to be doing, though, is getting on the top of the Woodcucks. That's when they've had the most success. When they get on top of TJK, they eliminate them early. But with Twiggy falling down so early, this isn't a good time to fight.
The enemy is here. The high noon call picks up one. Haste breaks it up with the second. Haste is taking a pretty good game. It's actually switched off the DVA now and gone Winston for the second half of this map.
I think it just allows you to jump onto the backline, and I think it's that jumping onto the backline which kills Krees and it kills the supports. And those are the people that you really want to be killing, as well as that Genji who was often in your backline.
And fight taking place on the card here. Ultimate's going off again. Cinderella's running. The high noon got called. We had an ultimate as well there coming out from the healer. Because EJ was about to say the wrong name on air and stopped himself. Get some. That's right. Now again, the Woodcucks have stopped it, pushed them right back. TGK picking up another double. Talk about a strong second half on McCree.
Yeah, TJK really is just showing what happens when you don't answer back to a Cree. And Quentiam haven't been answering back. They haven't been jumping on TJK and putting him under pressure. They've just simply been leaving him to just do what he wills. And what Cree wills is to get kills.
Absolutely.
So, seeing another fight here.
All right, so Rico lets the ultimate go. No, he doesn't, sorry, but he's building up to one. We had a return Lucio ultimate. Quentiam pushing in this cart now. Fresh is doing a great job at the back. Cinderella blocking it though. Cinderella's a bit of an underrated. We called his name a lot, but he's done an actually really decent job on defense of giving a line for the team to set behind.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's Cinderella that does a huge job of keeping TJK alive. Always has that shield up. I am your shield is what Reinhardt says, and Cinderella is TJK's shield, really. And that's what is allowing TJK to output so much damage, because without any answer to that Reinhardt shield in front of the Kree's not going to die. And I'm waiting for Quentiam to finally jump behind the shield.
Well, I hope TJK is playing some Whitney Houston songs, because her bodyguard's doing a great job holding this line of defense for him to hide behind. The defense has pushed forward again behind the cart though. And once more, the boys from Quentiam not effective in pushing through as Rico picked up a double to stop that rush. This is solid. There's only a minute 36 left on the clock. We could have a holdout here. Guy might have started off this third map.
Yeah, we could indeed, but now the Graviton Surge will be up for Kiki. If that's comboed effectively with the Deadeye, that can make a huge difference.
It's down, the Deadeye's gone off. Let's see what he gets. Ooh, it's enough though. They've dropped the whole team.
Yeah, it wasn't really a combo, they more just did individual
really
work, each of them.
And that's going to let him with a minute 7 seconds on the clock. We're going to cap this out. 104 was the final time left on the clock. Nice work though by the Woodcucks to hold that out as long as they did. 9:56 is the half, and plenty of time now for them to switch around and try from the other side.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a long time to have to defend Quentiam though, so they're going to have to really have a good hold, a nice server room hold, try and hold that first third from that quite well.
Experience tranquility.
All right, so the play of the day goes down there. EJ tries to click on TJK for a 65% kill participation. You got to be happy with that. Bloody hell.
Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly what TJK was doing, just was involved in kill after kill because no one killed TJK.
What that's saying is I want a new headset. Hurry up. We're going to flip sides, so shout out to Neba, who has joined us in Twitch chat today. You can catch Neba on GameStar regularly and also over on Neba TV, part of the GameStar family on Twitch.
Going into this fence here, Quentiam need a solid hold on the first third and then a really nice hold in the second third. I think that's what's going to make the real difference. If they can have a nice 2 or 3 pushes, one on this second point of the map, which makes up the end of the first third, and then can hold that hangar room for a long time, which is what the Woodcucks did. That's what they need to do to be able to delay Woodcucks for long enough for their time to win. As this is stopwatch and they did finish the map, all they have to do now is either defend fully or delay Woodcucks long enough that Quentiam's time is the winning time. So I'm looking forward to see the defensive setup.
So this will determine who plays the Chiefs, I think it is, isn't it, in the semi-final, in the top half of the draw, and then we'll get into the second 2 quarterfinals after this one. Great action all afternoon here on GameStar TV 1 on Twitch. It is the ZOWIE GameStar Overwatch League Finals Day, $8,000 in prizes, thanks to our sponsors, in a Zowie, Plantronics for the headsets, Ronnie's Customables, and of course GameStar for the Twitch prizes and the broadcast today. EJ and Guymar bringing you the map. Crisis chiming in every now and then with his thoughtful insights on the world of Overwatch. And I'll throw to him very quickly because I can hear him typing. Crisis, what's your tip for this latter half of the third map?
Well, 9 minutes and 56 seconds is an absolutely huge time. And we've seen the Woodcucks attack much quicker than that. So it's going to be, well, it's going to be tough for Quentiam to keep themselves in the tournament.
All right, players underway here. Thank you, Crisis. Cart moving now down the map. The setup, take us through it. Guymar, what defense are we looking at?
So instead of the Genji, which we saw last defense, we're seeing a more standard Reaper Cree, and this will work a lot better once that server room fight happens, if Woodcucks do decide to take that same fight. But overall, they're much better at the close range than the Genji is. The one difference though is it'll be a lot harder to get into that backline where TJK is with a Reaper than with a Genji, so overall,
Right,
they've got to shut him down.
Already. Twiggy pushed right out of the server room when he knew they were doing a big left-hand push and got them just as they came out that door. Kiki's getting the beam on to get the damage going. Slides is still over in that room, just laying down the 3 damage long range. And Kiki picks up, in fact, everyone I think picked up a kill then. That was a great bit of defense. They lost Twiggy, who's on his way back now.
The other strange thing about the Woodcucks, which I've just noticed, is they were playing a triple tank that push with Rico on Zarya. He's now switched to Genji, so they might have a better chance this push. But triple tank against Zenyatta against Zenyatta Reaper especially, is a really weak composition.
Yeah.
But now with that Genji, they should be able to do it.
The payload now being moved, pouring out of the server room. Comes the boys from Quentiam. They have not been able to stop this though. Shoes just hovering around on his Reaper trying to help it, but the car's hitting the A point. And the little space shuttle boop, boop, runs itself into the key objective. And here's where you called it, Guymar. This is the hangar room. Space shuttle defense time. This is where it's going to be crucial to the map.
Yeah, if Woodcucks can push this section of the map within their first 1 or 2 pushes, there's very little which Quentiam can do to delay for long enough.
Because they just
But
don't
if-
have time. Yeah.
Yeah, if Quentiam can delay this part though for 3 or 4 pushes, then defending that fourth checkpoint, will be a lot easier.
Oh, quick shout out to the Evo who's having a listen. Long time no see, dude. Welcome to the carpet. Hope you're enjoying it. Ultimate's going down here on the cart. There's gonna be carnage. Oh, maybe not carnage. Hayes picks up one. They scrambled somehow out of that one. And, wow, I thought we'd see more deaths on that one. I was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, we haven't really seen self-destructs be that influential since the beginning of the D.Va meta. At that first week that D.Va was viable, we saw a lot of big self-destructs, but now it's just really 1 or 2s, unless they combo very effectively.
Absolutely. TJK picking up another double. The defense here on the point being very strong. Twiggy pushing forward. The offense coming through. Cinderella, the other side of the fence there with the other Reinhardt. I hope the analysts are looking at him. You've got to pick these players who back up the superstars. They're the ones that make them look good. Having said that, it is TJK racking up the kills.
Overall though, that was a bit of a disappointing defense
Terrible.
from
They rolled
Quentiam,
through there.
considering what they needed to be winning this map and series as the third map of the series.
This half hasn't panned out with the tension that the other 2 maps have, and it's really going to come down to Kiki and the boys here trying to hold the Woodcucks on this point, but they're about to come around the fuel. Bam! There goes Hayes off. Rico picks up on that. Rico is stepping up big time on that Genji, constantly getting 2 and 3 kills.
At this point, there isn't really much Quentiam can do except wipe the Woodcucks team.
The Woodcucks looking like they're rolling through here. Casters are meant to be umpires, but they're my pick for the tournament. Jam in second. Oh, I love the Jam, boys. Where's the Jam? And so I'll be going for them in the next match. And last bit of defiance. So with 6 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock, and Slide the only person to have an ultimate, Quentiam have said, we're not giving up just yet. And gauntlets are thrown down. Bring it on is the call.
Yeah, and
That's a
I
nice
said
little
they
bit of
need to
defense.
wipe
I'll get a roll back
Woodcucks,
here.
and they just did. So if they can hold this defense now, they do have a chance.
Okay, Haste goes in. Let's Rip gets no one. Well done, Haste. We'll make a video of that one for later. It's going to be, can they hold this for 5 minutes? Haste is up top. So there might be 6 on the clock, but there's 5 to do it to get the point that you need to win. And it looks like they're going to comfortably push through here. Cinderella clearing the path. Primed is there as well, doing a great job. Look, Primed has had a bloody good job healing as well for the whole map. Elin coming through, backing him up. Ah, Kiki once again. Quentiam master player Kiki always gets into position when it's needed. Maybe not enough for this one though. There's the cap, and we have our second semi-finalist. The Woodcucks will be facing Chiefs in the first semi-final later this afternoon. All G and Bobby J will be
I
bringing
do
you that
actually
action.
believe Woodcucks will be in the other semi-final.
Well, then I stand corrected.
Yep, Crisis has confirmed the other semi will be the dominance of Woodcucks. So it'll be interesting to see if they can win that semi. With Rico, we've seen his Genji do so much work, and TJK's Kree. I mean, really, they kind of came alive towards the end of that first half of Numbani, and ever since then, they just looked so dominant. So props to the Quentiam boys. They did a brilliant job on Dorado, but really Woodcucks showed their experience, showed their dominance, and the Woodcucks take the series.
They do indeed, and Gaimar and I will be back very shortly for the next quarterfinal. We're going to throw over to the analyst desk, and the analyst desk is going to break down the map you just saw with the Woodcucks taking out the match.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, an excellent game. Quentiam looking very, very strong and looking to create the first upset of the day. But in the end, the Woodcucks coming back and dominating for the second 2 maps. Dorado remains Quentiam's ace in the hole, but beyond that, they are going to have to develop their capability on the other maps. Woodcucks doing very, very well. They take the quarterfinal, and it's time for us to pick a Plantronics MVP. Bobby J, out of that 3-map match, who's your pick for MVP?
Okay, there are 2 very viable options to go on the nominee for nominees for the Plantronics Rig 500 HD 7.1 gaming headset. So there is Rico and there's TJK. Both of them had tremendous games, so I need to just shout out to both of them because they both were on fire. But I'm going to give it to TJK for my nominee because Quentiam won that first map and they were under tremendous pressure to bring it back on Numbani, and we saw an incredible push led by like Bim going massive on the Zenyatta, and then we had TJK. He just held it together and brought his team back into the game with some incredible plays on McCree. Not dying, like he just stayed in the fight and just constantly just popped out the DPS and helped his team get back into the game, and they ended up winning with the rest of the team back on fire. So my nominee goes to TJK.
What do you think, Olgie?
Bobby, I have to say you took the words right out of my mouth, mate. I was going to say the exact same thing. Rico and TJK were both superstars in the series, but it was really that point on Numbani when they were up against the rope and TJK managed to pull off, 4 or 5 kills, and then just managed to play such good long-range McCree as well for the rest of the map and going into Gibraltar as well. So really well played by Rico and TJK, but I think TJK deserves the MVP just over him, so he has my vote.
All right, well, TJK goes through as our second nominee for the final series today. And all of the nominees up on GameStar.com right now. You can check them out if you type in !MVPs in Twitch chat. That'll give you a link to the full list from the entire ZOWIE GameStar Overwatch League season. And we'll keep updating that through the day with the nominees from the final series. Well, we're going to take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen, as we set up for our next quarterfinal. And it is sure to be a cracker. Jam Gaming versus Avant-Garde. And the boys from Jam Gaming have been tweeting from early on today about how excited they are for today's final series. They are going to be pumped. And Avant-Garde, well, they're going to be putting everything they can in the way of Jam Gaming, looking to make it through to the semi-finals themselves. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.